Good morning, everybody. I am taking my morning walk as usual, and I got a couple things on my to-do list today. One, I need to turn a pile of compost, mostly for exercise. Two, we're gonna get the mini split installed the rest of the way, I hope. My dad will be here in an hour or two, and we can hopefully get that hooked up, and then have air conditioning for the rest of forever, which will be amazing. I'm so tired of working in the heat. And then three, I'm hoping to work on the carabiners today and maybe get another prototype knocked out. Then of course I have video editing. Heat is definitely gonna be a major problem today. Last time we put in the mini split, it was super hot. And again, today, it's gonna be super hot. The raw temperature today is not gonna be quite as bad as it was last time, but we basically have 100% humidity all day, which makes things unpleasant. Basically, you walk outside and you start to get sticky as the air condenses on you. So that's a little bit rough. Even now I can feel it, and you can probably see the haze in the air over there. So it'll be really nice to get this air conditioner in. I kind of wish we had done this when it was still cool out, but I don't know. I guess now we know. My current goal for Design the Everything is to get my gross annual revenue to $100,000 a year within the next 12 months. Now, that does not mean that I need to make those $100,000 within the next 12 months, but at the end of the 12 months, I need to have a rolling 30-day gross monthly revenue of $8,300 or so, which times 12 is about $100,000. That is my goal right now. I still have a long way to go. And I'm hoping that these carabiners will be a big step in that direction. So I'm gonna try to speed run this compost turning. Okay, I'm really out of breath now. That was most of it. My wife's gonna clean up the rest. I need to go get showered and changed before my dad gets here so we can install the mini split. I have been getting this mini split installed with my dad. Let me show you where we are. The actual HVAC stuff is pretty much all hooked up. So there's a connection there, and then we connected it to the unit. Right now we are doing a vacuum test. There's a vacuum pump. And we pumped it down as low as it would go, and now we're gonna let it sit for an hour to make sure that we actually have a good seal. The next big hurdle is power. And we have the electrical box there, and fortunately we already have this conduit that runs across the shop from my mill and air compressor. We're gonna follow that conduit all the way down there, then we're gonna extend the conduit to go through that wall. Now, unfortunately, to do that, this shelf needs to be out of the way and all of this junk. Getting rid of that shelf has been on my to-do list for a long time, but now is apparently the time to do it. So I need to get it cleared off, get everything out from around it, get the shelf off the wall. Then also I probably need to make room over here so that all this stuff has a place to go. So just a whole lot of rearranging now. Behold, air conditioner. Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. So that was like a whole thing. It basically took all day again today. So there's basically 2 full days of 2 people working on it. Granted, we're not experts at HVAC stuff in general. And there was a lot of figuring things out, and we thought we made a mistake, but then we didn't, but then yada, 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 yada. But it is installed now most of the way. It is to the point where it is functional. It just needs a little bit of cleanup. We just need conduit outside. My wife is bobbing in the window. The biggest challenge for today just was basically getting the wiring done. We reused the wiring we have on the roof, and we went through this conduit across through that box, around, down, and through the wall. I think that was the easiest way of doing this, but I wish we had used a larger conduit. We used a 1/2-inch conduit and then a 10 gauge 3-conductor Romex, and it was just very tight in there. It took a while, but we did get it through. And of course, while we were doing this, we did not have air conditioning. It was like 100 degrees in the shop. I was dying. I mean, you guys saw the time lapse, but it's gonna be compressed down to like a minute of video for you. But what we have time lapsed is 6 hours, and that does not include, you know, the other 3 or 4 hours that we spent working on this today. The whole shop is a mess, and like everything got rearranged, and I can't find any of my tools anymore because they're all buried somewhere. There used to be a shelf hiding here behind the mill that was from the previous owner, and it basically just had lumber on it and some other crap. In order to get the power where we wanted it, we had to remove that shelf. Well, we didn't have to remove the shelf, but like removing that shelf was on my list of things to do. So it got done today instead of some unspecified time in the future, which is one of the reasons why my shop is such a mess, because now I have all this wood here that I have to figure out how to deal with. All that wood. On the bright side, removing that shelf was one of the things I had to do before I did my round of upgrades to the mill. I have a bunch of things I need to put on this thing still. And now that I can get behind the machine, those get a lot easier. I never wanted to put the machine like up against the wall. I wanted enough access space, and for the first time I have that. So anyway, this thing so far has cost me 2 days of time and about 1,600 bucks. And it's still gonna cost me at least a half a day to get it wrapped up outside. But man, I think it's gonna be worth every penny and every minute that we put into it. Working in 100 degrees is, I mean, obviously not impossible, but it sucks. And doing good work at 100 degrees just takes a lot of focus and takes a lot out of you. So installing that mini split cost me 2 days, you know, this week, but it'll gain me back, I don't know, dozens of days where the shop will be usable now throughout the year, when before it would be either too hot or too cold. So I'm gaining back productivity by spending some time now. It'll pay itself back in the future. And honestly, time feels like really valuable right now. Missing a day of work that I could be spending on like the carabiners, like it kind of hurts. Like, I don't know, I just want to be working on stuff to be moving forwards. I feel like I'm working on everything that's keeping me where I am and not working on stuff that's moving me forwards. But this is worth it. This is so worth it. I'm so done with constantly being hot. Anyway, tomorrow I don't think I'm gonna record a video. Anyway, tomorrow I am probably not gonna record a new video because I'm going to Gen Con with a friend of mine, and I don't really know if you guys will be interested in any of that. And I don't know if I want to bother recording it all. I kind of just want to have fun. So there may not be a video tomorrow. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one, which may not be tomorrow. It might be the day after.